Hi, welcome to episode 301 of The Corner of Knit and Tea. My name is Laura. I'm also known as Fluffyk on Ravelry, Fluffyk on Instagram and Twitter. I blog over at thecornerofknitandtea.com, where this episode and every episode show notes will be. I have an Etsy shop called The Corner of Knit and Tea, where I sell my handspun yarns and knitting patterns. And we also do have a Ravelry group called The Corner of Knit and Tea. Hi, how are you? It is Monday, October 7th. And I am coming to you from just outside Kansas City. I am in Kansas. We are located in Stillwell, which is just south of Kansas City proper. And today it is a snowy day here. We don't have a ton of accumulation, probably not more than an inch, if that. The street isn't even completely covered, but it has been in the 20s and snowing lightly all day. So I showed a picture to a friend and she said, well, that's a proper snow. I don't know if I'd consider it a super proper snow, but it has been icy and cold here all day. So it is our first of the season and I am bundled up in my sweaters and enjoying it. I'm wearing wool socks and it's just delicious. So welcome. If this is your first time chiming in with me, I'm glad you're here. And if you are a returning viewer, thanks for coming back and spending time with me. Today is not going to be the most typical of episodes because I don't have a ton of content to share with you in terms of knitting and spinning that I've done, but I do have lots of things to talk about. Last week, you all were so kind and left me so many comments. I know there's a prize draw in it too, but people left such kind comments and there were lots and lots of questions and things you'd like me to talk about. So I am going to attempt to answer some of them in the next several weeks. And so I'll just kind of respond to those questions. I have something new to tell you about. I will draw for the winners of the prizes and try and get those out to you. And then I do have a few things to show you that I've been working on. So lots and lots of things going on, and let's get right to it. So the first thing I'm going to do is talk about the tea that I'm drinking. Today I am drinking fennel and licorice from Tea Pigs. And I have talked about them before. The best thing that I like about Tea Pigs, they are a little pricey. They are in the UK, so if you're in the US, there is a bit of shipping. But the thing I really like about them is the ingredients in their tea are pretty much what they say they are. So the ingredients in this tea are 80% fennel, 20% licorice root. That's it. That's all. So I love that they have no additives. I know that licorice is a controversial flavor. I really like the fennel and licorice, particularly as the winter months come. If you have a sore throat or allergies or anything like that, I find it super soothing on the throat. I have a variety of teas, but this is definitely one of my favorites. These are actually in little, I think they call them tea temples. They're little triangular tea bags, and I am drinking that today in my roastery mug, mostly because I want to hold the ceramic mug in my hands. Something about this mug, the enamel tends to hold the heat better than some of my other mugs, and so I really like that. So that's what I'm drinking today. And as long as I'm here talking about tea, I'm going to answer the first question that I got, which was from Robin. And she said that she is a tea newbie and wanted to ask how I drink loose leaf teas. So if you are new to loose leaf teas, there are some really easy ways you can use them. So the first thing I like to talk about is this is a For Life mug. It says forlifedesign.com. I got it at my local tea store, but it is a 3-piece teacup. It is a glass teacup. And then it comes with a basically a fine mesh strainer, which you can use. And then it also comes with a lid. The lid can keep your tea warm when you're not drinking it. I also like to use the lid kind of as a coaster because it's got a little inset part. And I sometimes rest my tea there so that if I want to prepare another cup, I can use it again, which is one of the benefits of loose leaf tea. So that is the first thing that I use. And I take this For Life strainer out and use it in all my mugs. So it's a good size to rest on pretty much any mug unless you've got something really enormous. The other thing you can use are various tea balls. They come in, they originally come in a ball form, which is just a mesh ball that opens in some way, sometimes at the middle, sometimes a little piece of the side, and you can put your tea in there. I also have various other ones. This is my tea ducky. It comes in 3 parts. It's the little ducky on the top, the little mesh bottom, and the ducky has little grooves in it, and there are little buttons in the top of the mesh, so I can just hook that in. So you just put it in and twist it, and your tea is ready, and your ducky is ready to float in your tea. And then he comes with a little, almost like egg cup nest to sit in when you want to put him aside. So I like that one. I think this one was a gift from a friend. The other one that I really like is my sheep. And my sheep is a little bit more of a traditional tea ball. What you'll see, I mean, it's not plain, but it is just a cute little sheep, and he's got holes to let the tea steep. He's got a little chain so I can hang him over the edge of the mug, and he just pulls apart. I'm sorry, you can see that he's a little stained from the tannins in the teas, but they make these in all kinds. They have fun ones. They have they have manatees. They have dinosaurs, they have sharks, they have all kinds of things, and these you can also find at Amazon or sometimes at tea retailers. So I just have a bunch of these kind where you just, again, you just put some tea in them, close them up, and then you can use them a few times in your tea, and I just put this aside on a little plate or on a napkin when I'm not using it. And then the final thing, and I meant to grab it, but I forgot to grab it out of my box because I don't use it as much. If you don't want to buy an extra gadget, the other thing most tea shops will sell is they sell empty filters, which it's kind of like buying a box of coffee filters. They are little tea bags that you just spoon the tea into, and they're paper filters, and you can use them once or twice or a few times, and then just toss them. I tend not to use them, although I have bought them. I think I got a pack of 100 for a few dollars. I probably got my first set from Adagio Teas, but there are many other tea shops online that will sell you those paper filters. So hopefully that will get you a little bit of a start. It's really not super expensive. Most of the tea balls I think are around $9.99, maybe $7.99, $9.99, $11.99. And then the mug from For Life was not terribly expensive. I want to say it was around $20, maybe a little more, a little less. But given that you'll use it, you know, and you'll use the filter forever, or the mesh strainer forever, not super expensive. So I hope that answered your question and you're getting excited to delve into new teas. I used to review teas quite frequently on the blog. To be honest, I just stopped because I had so much tea in my tea boxes and I just couldn't get through it all. Some of my favorite sites, I used to really like Adagio Teas. I really like David's Teas. I buy from, let's see, who else do I hit on a regular basis? I like the Republic of Tea, and they do sell some of their teas loose leaf. I like Upton Teas if you like particularly black tea blends. They're really great. I have a local tea store called the Tea Market that I occasionally buy from. And then just Google tea online. There are a million tea sellers. And while I don't necessarily usually buy from Etsy stores, there are a lot of tea sellers online. I've bought from Simpson and Vale. I've bought from, Tea Time in Scottsdale. That's where my friend Liz lives. There's a place called Capital Teas in DC. So I have bought from a variety of places. If you are interested, you can look into the archives on my website, and there are plenty of tea shops in there. And generally, I just buy some samples and see what I like, and then buy some more if I like it. So that is the tea talk. There was also one other quick question that I want to answer because it's relevant and coming up. I got a question about Nanny Swaymo and if it is possible to knit multiple sweaters to count towards your 50,000 stitch count. And Caitlin asked that, and the answer is unfortunately no. I did not make the rules, but unfortunately I do have to enforce them. It does have to be on one sweater. That is limiting if you are a small person. I do realize that if you knit a fingering weight sweater, it would count up to 50,000 stitches. I expect you were probably thinking maybe you could knit some sweaters for your adorable little kids. And while that's great, for prizes, it has to be 50,000 stitches in one sweater. If you don't care about prizes, you are welcome to knit along with us and knit as many small sweaters as you want, and just set the goal for yourself. But unfortunately, that won't count towards prizes. So that is what I'm going to do on questions. If you ask a question and I didn't answer it, never fear. Some people asked me about my design process. I got asked about how to select a tech editor. I got asked about patterns for hand-spun yarns. And there were a few other questions, and I wrote them all down. And like I said, just as we go on in the next couple weeks, I will take a little bit of time up front to discuss those topics. So I hope that was fun for you. And I know some of you out there wanted to know. So if you have other questions, you're welcome to leave them, and I will just add them to the list as we go on. So next, let's go ahead and draw for our prize winners. I actually went ahead and did this ahead of time. I used the random number generator, and we have 2 winners. For the fiber, which comes from Spun Right Round, which is this beautiful fiber. It is Rambouillet, and it is just really bright and fun. The winner is Kim Benke, B-E-N-K-E. If you will just email me at thecornerofknitandtea.com, or you can contact me on Instagram. I just need you to send me your mailing address, and I will get this out to you. I have some teas and some chocolate, and I will send you a little prize package. I believe you said you wanted the fiber, so I will just send you the fiber, but if you wanted it spun up, just let me know. I drew a second winner for this beautiful stripy yarn from Mud Punch. It is called Acrobatic Peach, and it just has fun. It reminds me of summery colors, so they'll be nice to possibly knit this winter when you need some cheer. And the winner for that is Julia, VDW. So Julia, I know you've sent me your address before, but do me a favor and send it to me again, and I will get this out in the mail to you as well, again with some tea and chocolate. So thank you all for your comments. It was really nice reading them. I didn't respond to them because I wanted to use the random number generator. I may go back and respond to them now, but I appreciate you leaving them for me, and I'm so glad you're enjoying it. I have been having fun. Lo these 300 episodes, and I plan to continue. So now I'm going to talk about what I actually did craft this week, and then at the end I'm going to talk about a little something new. So, I have a finished object this week, and I couldn't be more thrilled, and that is I finished the socks for my dad, and they actually even match. That was kind of an even bigger coup, but I got them. There are a couple extra rows, I think, at the top. The front sock might have a couple extra rows right at the top in the gray, because I think I only had like one on this pair, but I basically went ahead and matched them, and then just did all of my shaping and all of my other stuff at the same points so that hopefully they would match. So I'm super excited about that, and I'm glad that they are done. These are on my small, but they actually stretch quite a bit. These are socks for my dad. He is allergic to wool, so these are out of Barocco Comfort Sock, which is a 50-50 acrylic nylon blend. While I think the socks will be very comfortable and wear well, I didn't necessarily enjoy knitting with the yarn. I found it a little bit slippery, almost like I was knitting with bamboo or tencel, and I kept feeling like I needed to pull it tight. I guess I really miss some wool content. However, my dad does not, because it makes him super itchy. And yes, we've tried a variety of wools, and it just doesn't work. So I go ahead and knit for him in acrylics. They all have a purpose. So I went ahead and knit him some socks. This is just a pattern of my own making. I did a 2x2 rib on the entire cuff and on the top of the foot, and then I did a slip stitch heel and heel turn gusset, and then went down to a toe and made a slightly rounded toe. So these are ready to go. They are his Christmas present. I am knocking gifts off my list, although I still have a few more things to go. I think this week I will be doing a hat for Miles. I still have some mittens for Roxy, and I have a pair of socks for Miles, and then that will be done as far as that goes. I still haven't heard what my brother-in-law wants, so I have to do a project for him in there, and I did tell my sister to kind of get a move on, because he is the tallest of all of us. He's over 6 foot tall, so I feel like if I have to knit socks for him, which is fine because I'm knitting socks for everyone else, but if I have to knit socks for him, I really need to get started because he has big feet. So, but these are done, and like I said, I couldn't be more pleased that they're done, and I hope my father will enjoy them. The second thing I finished this week is my design, which actually will be coming out next week. So I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but I just wanted to show you that I did indeed finish my cowl, which is basically an eternity loop. And actually I showed it to friends last night and they said it looked really cool, almost like a galaxy or the Milky Way, which is really kind of fun. This is Alegria Grande from Monostil, Uruguay. They were kind enough to send it to me. These two skeins they sent to me for review, and I just had this pattern in my head and was really excited about it. And unfortunately what I didn't really plan on was that the pattern kind of got lost a little bit in the speckling. I love the way it looks, but the pattern got a little bit lost. I will say that it's kind of neat the way that it pooled, because it kind of also pooled in the direction of the, I think I had it inside out. It's more or less reversible, except that I know which side I wove in the ends on. So, and that was on the outside. Anyway, so it's kind of a swirling pattern, which I will explain more next week when I talk about it. And so that is finished, and that is almost 400 yards. So that is what I was knitting this week. I should say that on Saturday I went out and my friend Anna, who has been in the podcast with me once, she helped me take photos for it, and it was it was really actually very cold, but it was a glorious fall day. It was overcast. We got into a big bunch of what I'm told are maples, because I did not grow up around lots of different kinds of trees, but they are the ones that change to bright red, and they were beautiful, and we got the train in the background, and she really got some amazing shots. So you'll be seeing those on social media in the next couple weeks. I am finishing the pattern tonight and sending it to the tech editor, so I expect it will be out towards the end of next week, and when I'm ready to debut it, I will definitely come back and talk to you about it. But also keep an eye on social media, because for the first couple days there's going to be a discount. So be sure to watch my Instagram or Facebook for that. So that's another one done and ready to go. The final thing that I thought I'd show you is some spinning. I didn't necessarily anticipate that I was going to have time to spin this week, but it was Spinning Sunday. I have talked about this in the past. I have a local, semi-local to me group from kind of mid-Kansas, Topeka, and even just a little bit further west, all the way through eastern Kansas. And there's a group of us that normally gets together once a month at someone's house and spins for a while in the afternoon. And of course that has not been possible due to the pandemic. But several months ago we decided we might as well take it to Zoom. And so yesterday was a Zoom spinning meeting, and I didn't have any more yarn for chicken feathers, so I thought it was time to spin something else for the shop. So I went ahead and pulled something I had in the stash. I actually have 2 bumps of this, and I haven't decided if I'm going to spin both of them now or spin one now and one later, but this is called How Ghastly, and it is basically kind of a dark rainbow. This was a pre-order that she did in association with Halloween at least a couple years ago, and I picked up 2 bumps, and it's got browns and purples and some burgundy and oranges and a little bit of mint green, and to me it is like intensely fall colored and kind of a dark rainbow. And so I have spun half of it. This is the other half of it. It is on Rambouillet, which is squishy and highly crimped and tends to poof up. So this should be a really poofy and cozy, comfy yarn. And as I said, I haven't decided whether I want to do both skeins at once or not. I suspect I'm going to do this as a fractal. I spun the first half in very, very tiny strips, and then this is the second half all together, and I might split it once, but I would prefer to keep it slightly longer. I think it will make it kind of striped. And next episode I will talk about handspun patterns that you might use with handspun yarns and what I think about in creating these. I thought about a couple different patterns in how I think about spinning yarns now. So that is what is on my wheel. So now we are to the final portion of the podcast, and this is something a little bit different that I don't do that often, but I'm going to do it today because A, it's very timely, and B, it's something I agreed to do. So at the agency, we have a new client. So I'm telling you, they are not my client, but they are a client of the agency. So that is how I am affiliated with them. I do not get any money for what I'm talking about. I just offered to do it. We have a new company that's working with us, and they are developing an app called DuelGood, and that's DuelGood. And I will put the link in the description box on YouTube, as well as in the show notes on my website. DuelGood is creating an app where creative makers can sort of share their work in challenges. So DuelGood comes up with a challenge, and you craft something in response to that prompt and submit photos of your challenge, and then other users in the app will vote on your submission, and the submission with the most votes wins, and they do have prizes. So the challenge for this week is called Tangled Web, and it is sort of as part of Halloween. It is about using yarn to create a web. And when they were first brainstorming this challenge, they came to me and asked me what I thought. And of course, I popped over to Ravelry to see what kinds of things we could sort of fit under this prompt. Now, the challenge started today and runs through, I believe, Halloween. So it is a fairly short time frame. So mostly what I was looking for was things that reminded me of spider webs that you could make in yarn. And there are some dishcloths, there are some hats, there are some crochet motifs. There are some sort of Halloween-inspired yarny web patterns. Then I went on Pinterest and looked, and there are wreaths that you can create for your door, or like spider webs that you can put up on your wall. And actually, I remembered when I was a kid, my sister and I used to make yarn webs in our rooms. My mother was not terribly pleased with it. But what we used to do is we used to take acrylic yarns, and we would start to create what looked like a spider web in our rooms. And we would tie the yarn around a few different points, like the rail of a chair, or the foot of a desk, or the bottom of the bed frame. And then we would kind of go back and forth and over and under and in, out and around. And eventually we would have our whole room was like a spider web that you had to crawl under and through to get to things. And that we did on many a rainy day, and it was not my mother's favorite because then we had to cut it apart to take it down, but it was kind of a fun project. So you could do something like that with your kids. I went looking on Pinterest, and so my Yarny Craft and Yarny Web is I created a spider web picture frame. So I found this on Pinterest, and they suggested getting a thrifted frame. I actually had a picture frame that didn't have anything in it. And then they talk about how to sort of create your web. You first want to create lots of the, like a vertical, where you kind of have an X crossing, and then you want to kind of use your string to create some cross hatching. And the way I did that with the most part was I do have some hooks on the back of here, and I just ran the yarn around the hooks and then added a little Scotch tape to hold it into place. It depends how permanent you want to make this. I don't know that this will be a permanent, but I thought this would be kind of fun for this year. And then once you have your yarn, your beams, sort of your spokes in place, then you can kind of go around and weave. And what I did to get those to stay in place is I actually wrapped them around. So I don't know if you can see if that's too close, but you can see that I actually wrapped the yarn around each of the spokes as I did it. Then what I did is I tied it in a little knot, and so that the ends wouldn't come untied, I used a drop of super glue to hold those in place. So what I have is a pretty neat web now. I need to look and see if we have any of those plastic spiders. You know, the plastic spider rings, or the little bits and pieces that you get from the dollar store for your Halloween decorations. I don't know that we have any right now, but I do need to look and see. And then I would just put my spider right in there, and it would be perfect to either hang on my front door, sort of in place of a wreath, or we have a wall in the kitchen that would be kind of fun as a decoration. So what I plan to do is take a picture of this and go ahead and upload it to the app on DuelGood, and also see what other people are doing. DuelGood is available in the Apple and Google Play Store. It is free to download and free to participate. You just create a profile, a login and username, and then you can see what all the challenges are. You can choose to enter them or not. And then you can vote on you can vote on photos in the challenge. I will have links to where you can find out more about the app in my like I said, in the down bar below, as well as, or in the description box below, as well as on my blog. And the final thing that I should add is this challenge's prize is a $100 gift card generously donated by Kraemer Yarns. So I have worked with their yarns before. They are spun in the United States. They are one of the oldest mills in the United States, and they make high quality wool and also wool blend yarns, and they are just really great workhorse yarns. I have used, I knit a summer wrap in their Tatami tweed. I have used their mouche for felting. They also have spinning fiber. So if you are interested in potentially winning a gift card to Kraemer Yarns, download the app, give it a try, see what you think, get inspired by other folks' creativity, and let me know. So that is what I have got for you today. I hope that you are doing well and enjoying crafting, getting ready for Halloween and other fun autumn crafts and seasonal items. This week on my knit list, I need to do some more chicken feathers. There are always more of those. I need to do Miles' hat, and I need to swatch for both my sweaters, because by the time I talk to you next, it will be Monday, November 2nd, and it will already be Nanny Swamo. So I will hopefully have lots of new knits to share with you. Thanks for joining me today. I wish you well, and until I see you again, I will say happy spinning, happy sipping. I can't even remember my own tagline. Happy knitting, happy spinning. I would cut this out, but it's too funny. Happy knitting, happy spinning, and happy sipping. Talk to you soon.